G'day folks, and welcome back to this will probably be the final report on 1861. I am very much enjoying this. This is a fascinating game. It is really good to be back in the 18XX system. I used to love 18XX games, and this is my first foray back into it, and I've really been enjoying it. Playing three-handed, it's been really good to see how to refresh my memory of the system, and kind of remind myself how it all works. One thing to keep in mind is I feel that 1861, this title, is a bit of an outlier compared to other games in the system in terms of how open it is. It's a big map, as you can see, and 18XX maps, the ones I've seen, the ones I've played, are generally much smaller and tighter than this. There's often a lot of competition for particular placement of particular tiles in particular spaces, a lot of competition for companies and shares. And at least to date, at this point, I haven't experienced that just yet. We're about to see the merger of these minor companies into the public company, so that will start to happen. But yeah, there's just so much space for these companies to build on that there isn't a lot of tension or backstabbing or interference. A little bit here and there. So I think it was this company here initially built their rail lines to block out the northern companies, and then they can just, as soon as the green tiles are available, they can just merge with that. So nothing too nasty going on. But a lot of that sort of potential nastiness comes once you have the public companies and shares, and you have takeovers and changes of directors and things like that. You can see the stock prices, and they're gradually increasing. As all these companies are making profit, those stock prices are increasing. If a company makes a profit, it increases. Once they get to that yellow line, they can begin to merge. So we're very close. We're basically one operating round away, probably two operating rounds away, to be honest, because the St. Petersburg-Warsaw company will hit that line, but these guys have to first shift up and then across before they can convert. So St. Petersburg won't have any other companies to convert with until those others shift up. You can see the kind of maze of rail lines, and it's really fascinating to build this. I really enjoy that process of plotting where you're going. You can see in particular out here, this is the Moscow-Nizhny Novgorod Railroad. This is Bluey's rail line. Remember, Bluey's out here on the right. And Bluey also invested in the Samara Vyazma company and the Akaterinin company way out, just sort of off the map there, to link all these together. So they've got this really strong potential for this Eastern Rail Empire running through several major cities along the way. Ekaterinburg is worth 80 credits, rubles, if it connects to Moscow, if they can deliver to Moscow. So with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a level 6 train, they can get a big delivery through all these cities to Moscow and earn a lot of money. There are some profitable companies on the board. What are the big ones? We've got down here in the south, a couple of these companies have level 3 trains, so they're making big connections through some big cities. Any of these guys here through Moscow, for example, 50, 20, 40 to Kiev, up to St. Petersburg isn't too bad. But then you can also run the Kiev-Kursk rail, can go Kiev, Smolensk, Moscow for a very profitable run of about 120 plus. So yeah, some of these minor companies are making a lot of money, and the players, individual players, Woody, Reddy and Bluey are making a lot of cash, and they're just really waiting for those public companies to open up. So at least, yeah, not the next operating round, but the one after. We have a stock round coming up, but there's no... Actually, there are two other minor companies to start. The Tsaritsyn Riga company, which no one's really too interested in, and the Vladikavkaz Railway down here on Rostov, which will probably be in sort of Woody's area of interest, so he might bid for that quite keenly. A lot of these companies had to take loans to buy their level 3 trains, but they're quite rapidly paying them off. As I said, with the money they're making, they're able to quickly make up some cash and pay off those loans quite quickly. Those loans, of course, have to be paid off 5 rubles interest per turn, so they do have to deduct that. But yeah, a few of them are pushing that loan requirement down quite quickly. Having said all that, I'm wrapping it up pretty soon. I'm really enjoying it, but yeah, I have a few other games to get to the table, and this is a huge game. I'm at phase 3 of 8 possible phases, so I still have a long way to go, and yeah, it's a long game, and I've only been kind of returning to it here and there to dabble in operations and stock, and yeah, playing this to get a sense of how it all works. If this at all looks interesting, check out 18XX. Check out the 18X series of games. This was recently re-released as, I think, 1861/1867. It's a dual game that included a revision of this and a map of Canada. I don't know the details on the Canadian side of things, but 2 titles in the one box, worth checking out. And as I said, a friend recommended this title because it was good for new players. It wasn't too brutal. Eventually that Russian State Railway will come in and they'll start to take things over. I haven't even hit that mark yet. But yeah, it's a nice way to kind of dip your toes in the water of 18XX gaming. Folks, I hope it's been of interest, and yeah, check it out if it's of interest. 1861, The Railways of the Russian Empire.